welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and I'm excited to bring you along for another delicious bread recipe, and I'm cutting it short. These videos have been really long, and I didn't want to leave anything out, and if you guys know me at all, I can be a little chatty Cathy, and I'm sorry about that, but I feel like some of these steps are very important in the learning process, and so forgive me if they're a little lengthier than a different recipe might be. I'm cutting this one short for you. I'm already at the stage where I'm going to be shaping my boule and my baguette. And so I am using, again, my gifted cookbook from Heather over at the Needy Homesteader, my King Arther Flour Baker's Companion. And I've got my page marked off. I am a page folder. If I have a recipe that I want to remember where it is, I fold the page so the tip sticks up. And I do take notes in my cookbooks as well. This is the rosemary and olive oil sourdough bread. Now, I'm using the San Francisco sourdough that I got from my friend. And again, thank you. But know that yeast is a wild little organism that you can't control. And I'm sorry, when you have yeast or a sourdough in your home gathering wild yeast, and even that one is going to gather wild yeast from our area, so there's no way to not contaminate it with Nevada yeast. But it still has some of that San Francisco flavor. You can totally smell the difference between the two. And if they mix and intermingle and, do their thing, I'm okay with that because it's still going to result in a delicious bread. So know that. You can collect yeast from your area without ever adding any yeast to a starter. So we'll go over that. I'm going to do a yeast starter for you from scratch, and we'll go over that in another video. But what I've done so far is I put the recipe together. I did use my Danish dough whisk for this, and you need it. The first process, you're incorporating 5½ cups of flour, and this is located on page 284 if you have this book. If you don't have this book, maybe you could look it up, or I'll leave a link in the description box for both the book and the whisk and the whatnot. Anyway, 5½ cups of flour, and don't add any more when you turn it out to knead it. Make sure your counters are clean and knead it right on the counter. It's sticky because it's got a pretty high hydration ratio to it. And that's what gives you those big bubbles, and oh, I can't wait for the crumb. Anyway, a cup and a half of a cup and a half of water. Now I use filter water, never use chlorine because you could really kill your yeast with chlorine. If you do have chlorinated water and you don't have any other source, then leave it out on your counter overnight for that to dissipate. 2 cups or 14 ounces weighed. If your starter is very active, you want to weigh it because it could have air, it releases carbon dioxide. It could have carbon dioxide bubbles in there. So you want to weigh it, not depend on the volume. 1½ or 2½ teaspoons of salt, and that's incorporated after you make your flour, your water, your starter, and you make a shaggy dough. Let it rest for 30 minutes. Then you sprinkle your salt on top and your 3 tablespoons of fresh rosemary, and it's got olive oil in here too, I'm sorry. 1/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and I used an extra virgin garlic infused olive oil. Once that's rested for 30 minutes and absorbed all that moisture, and that's really what the flour is doing, then you're going to go ahead and incorporate by kneading. And I used a stretch and fold knead technique, which was really kind of fun. I'm still very awkward at it, but I really liked it. And you can actually slap the dough down, stretch it out, fold it over, and it develops that gluten in the flour. When you do these long processes too, people that are gluten intolerant aren't so susceptible with this, and the probiotic in the sourdough and the fermentation of this dough is so much healthier than what you could ever buy in the store. So moving on, Now, I let it rise for actually 2.5 hours. Every half hour, I have taken this dough out. I've picked it up. I've let it hang and stretch out and folded it over. Put it back in the bowl, covered it up, put it back in the warm oven, and just let it go. And you don't even have to put it in a warm oven. You could actually let this ferment overnight if you wanted a longer fermentation, but I think we're gonna be good. This dough is so active and it smells amazing. Now we're ready to shape our dough. And I'm gonna shape mine into a boule and a baguette. So I'm gonna bring you in close so you can see up front. My counter is clean. I've washed this like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times today. But I'm gonna go ahead and deflate the dough and shape it into my boule and my baguette, and then we will be ready to move forward. As you can see, I've got this beautiful, totally doubled in size, just gorgeous dough. Let that focus on that for a second before I deflate it. You can see the fresh rosemary. You chop it up really fine. I love rosemary, and this is rosemary that I've grown myself. So you're just gently going to deflate this dough. I don't want to, you don't ever want to punch it or knock it down too hard. You're going to break gluten strands that you've worked so hard to get. So, and the smell is incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this out onto my counter. And it's sticky and it's I can't wait. I've got to get my my bench knife. Hold on. So I can cut the dough for my baguette. I want a nice baguette and a boule. And all that means is the boule is it's a round loaf is what it is. So you really don't need that much dough for a baguette. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna set that aside. This is a very soft dough. It's got a lot of hydration to it. Now for the boule, I'm going to go ahead and we're gonna pull this together till you really feel like you've got the bottom pinched together, okay? And then put it on your counter, pull towards you, and it's gonna tighten the dough on the back side, and then just keep pulling towards you. And stretch that skin on the outside here as tight as you can. If you've got a big air bubble like there, go ahead and you can pop it, but you want those big air bubbles. So I feel like I've got this shaped like I want it. It's perfect. It's elastic, it's smooth on top, and we're gonna create, I do not have a dough basket. That could be my next Amazon purchase, darn it. This bread making, that's serious business. Okay, so I'm gonna put some flour. Now this is parchment paper and a bowl that will contain the dough in the shape that I want, if that makes sense. It is gonna go out onto a baking sheet. I wish I had a baking stone. Go ahead and pull it one last time. And you're gonna put this in your bowl that you've got flour here. You're gonna put this upside down. You're like, what? Yes. I'm gonna put it just like that. My seam on the bottom, my little, now I could have just put it into a floured bowl. The baskets, you know, they hold the flour. This bowl, it would have just slid right down. So we're gonna do it this way. It's gonna be pretty rustic. So now let's move to the baguette, which the other night I did not get to show you how I do a baguette. So you wanna go ahead and push your dough out. If your dough springs back too much, let it rest a minute. Push your dough out into kind of a oval or a rectangle. Pull it back onto itself and take your thumb or the palm, and push it so you don't have a seam. And then you're gonna roll just like that. Perfect. And until it's about, 13, 14 inches. That's all I want. So we're gonna put this on. I've got my baking tray here. I'm hoping that I can get both of these on this baking tray, but I may need to use a bigger one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, probably, I'm gonna get a bigger baking tray. And what you wanna do, and I didn't show you this either on that baguette video. I lost that whole bit of footage. Okay, pretend there's 3 of these on here. You're going to create a space for that to rise in without over spreading. You can fold your parchment, and in between loaves this works very well. Okay, so at some point I will get a baguette pan, I guess it is, baking pan for baguettes. They're vented at the bottom. I think you get a better crumb out of them, but we're gonna go ahead. Now these are gonna have a chance to rise, and we wanna just about double in size, okay? Not quite, you're a little short of that, but I will bring you back. Note that it's gonna be on a different cookie sheet, and we're gonna bake these off in a very hot oven. And I'm gonna do it just like I did the baguettes. We're gonna preheat our oven halfway through the rise to 500 degrees. Then after we put it in, we're gonna spray this dough down. We're gonna put it in and knock the heat down to 475. And actually, when you open that oven, it goes down to 475 by itself. So, but we're gonna maintain that temperature until these are done, which is about 35 minutes. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and I'm gonna let the baguette be on its own cookie sheet or tin, and it rose up just perfect. This boule is way too big. So I've lightly floured another baking tray, and I'm gonna carefully turn this out onto this. And honestly, I don't even know how this is gonna work out, but I think it's gonna work out just like that. Holy cow, that's a big boule. Oh, see, now you can see the flour that was on there. I don't want to deflate my dough at all. It's so lofty. I want to go ahead though, and you want, this is crazy. I'm gonna have to share this dough. Now I did order a bread scorer, I guess you'd call it. I can't remember what it's called. It's just not here yet. I'm gonna get my parchment out of the way. I'm gonna score this loaf, and this is a clean razor blade, and you want to come in, and this is going to give you some character. It's gonna split. We pulled those sides. It should really make a nice loaf. And I'm gonna go this way, and we're done. Because we're going in that hot oven, it should continue to kind of rise and split. Now my baguette, we're gonna score across, whoops, we're gonna score across. And it kind of created a skin for itself, but there you go. It did not deflate the dough on either loaf this time, which I kind of had that problem with my baguettes. So in a 500 degree oven it goes. I'm gonna knock the oven back down to 475, and we're gonna have, oh, and I'm going to spray these down. Spray these down with warm or, room temperature kind of water. Really pretty good. And then that will create the steam that will give you that crusty crust. All right, we'll be back. So guys, the bread is done, and I'm gonna tell you another learning curve. Make 2 or 3 baguettes and 1 boule. This is huge. This is probably 10 inches across. It's beautiful dough. It's still really hot. This baguette is gorgeous. And it's almost cooled down. Beautiful golden brown on the bottom. Can you hear that? Oh, it's so perfect. I can't tell you how much I love how my house smells. If you guys out there could invent a candle melt or a wax melt that smelled like home-baked bread, oh my gosh, you would make a million. So this one is just cool enough to pick up, show you the bottom. See how beautiful that is? It's gorgeous. I'm not gonna cut into this until it's had a chance to completely cool. This baguette has had a chance to completely cool. So we're gonna go ahead and cut in. Oh, I don't know, you guys. Let's do, I really hate cutting into it. For some reason, it's like, oh, I'm gonna ruin it. But you're not. You're gonna eat it. You wanna hear that? Crispy. Let's get a little bit more. I'm hoping we had tons of air pockets in here. It's got some air pockets right there. Okay. I assume that this bread will have a whole lot more. It really did a whole lot more rising. And let's give you a close-up. You can see the little flecks of rosemary. Ooh, it's so soft inside and crispy outside. Let's take a bite. Oh my goodness. Oh, good Lord in heaven. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you do not need butter. This is soft, like, it's a different texture than my baguette recipe that I did out of the King Arther cookbook. This was supposed to be just a bread recipe, so look at the size of that boule. It's huge. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna let this cool completely before I cut it, and then I will do another clip and let you see what it looked like. But for the most part, this is delicious. Unreal. I'm trying to capture that sourdough, is what I'm trying to do. It's absolutely, it's got that tangy flavor that you expect from sourdough. All right, so it's the next day. I wanted this boule to be sure and be completely cooled so I didn't ruin the crumb or dry it out. I already know how delicious it is, but I wanted you guys to see this, so I'm gonna bring it in close and we're gonna cut into this and let you see. I'm super excited. This is a delicious recipe, so yeah, this would make, honestly, this would make delicious dinner rolls with the rosemary, kind of savory, but we're gonna have to use this for sandwiches. All right, let's cut into it. Come on in. Okay, look at this. Crusty, and I left it sit out all night so it could sit. Oh, it's got that great crust. I'm gonna share half of this. Ooh, look at that. Now it's not as airy as I would like to see. The crumb itself, I would like to see bigger pockets, and I think it's because This recipe is a little less hydrated than some other sourdough recipes, so I'm gonna keep playing with it. It's delicious. It's got that wonderful sourdough flavor, and I'm telling you, I can't resist. I'm gonna save this half for the neighbor. I'm gonna fatten up my neighbors in the process here, right? Cut off a slice off the end, and then look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that, beautiful bread. Oh, okay, a little bit of butter. Let me get some butter. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of butter, and my butter is hard. I just leave it out on the counter, but the house is chilly, so it's cold. Okay, now I'll cut off a piece here. I don't need a, ooh, it's got that really, when you tear it, that texture that you love from sourdough. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's a winner. I think this one tastes better than the baguette. No, I'm kidding. Okay, absolutely delicious. I hope that you try it. I hope that this inspires you to go ahead and start making your own sourdough or any kind of bread. Homemade bread is so easy, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist, and it's inexpensive. This loaf and that baguette cost me about 50 cents. And for a big boule like this, you would pay probably $6 in the store. So you're saving a lot of money. And you know what went into it? It's simple ingredients that you have around the house. So anyway, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious bread adventure, or maybe another recipe. We might have that coming up, and we've got contests going. I just did a giveaway, and we've got one more giveaway coming up. So if you're not a subscriber, I hope you subscribe for more delicious recipes just like this one. And hit that bell button when you subscribe so you don't get, or so you get notified whenever I upload. And guys, go down in the about section below, check the links that I've left for you. I'll have the links to the tools I use, and anything else you might be interested in. You can shop through those Amazon links, and it helps the channel out. All right, guys.